Good evening and welcome to the screencast. Tonight I'm going to be solving some of the problems that you might see on tomorrow or Friday's quiz on factoring. So let's get to it. The first problem here, I can tell that I'm going to have a common factor, and because all three terms are divisible by 4. And then I can also see that I can divide out an n as well. So I'm going to write 4n outside the parentheses. Then I'm going to divide each term by 4n. And that's going to leave me with negative 6n squared. Here it's going to leave me with n. And here it's going to leave me with 8. And after that I'm all set. I can't factor any further. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Okay, in the next one I can see that I'm going to be able to divide out an 8. So I'm going to do that, and that's going to leave me with 2m squared minus 4m minus 3, which I cannot factor any further, so I am finished. Alright, moving on. Alright, this time I have a trinomial with a leading coefficient of 1. So I need two numbers that multiply to be 35 and add up to negative 12. Well, after thinking about it, I believe it is negative 7 and negative 5. You multiply those, you get 35. You add negative 7 and negative 5, you get negative 12. So that would be my answer. Alright, the next one, well, let's see. I need two numbers that multiply to be 20 and add up to negative 12. And that's going to be, I think, minus 2 and minus 10. Alright, oops. Alright, moving on. The first few words in tonight's sentence are the life, you. Alright, did I do 4? Yes, I did. Okay, in the next one I can also see that I'm going to have a common factor of 5. So I'm going to divide out the 5, and that's going to leave me with r squared minus 12r, and then plus 42. I believe. Let me make sure. 135 divided by 5 is, let's see, 2 times 5 is 10. 3, 5. No, I'm way off. It's 27. Good thing I know how to do long division. Alright, now I need two numbers that multiply to be 27 and add up to negative 12. And that would be negative 9 and negative 3. So I have r minus 9, r minus 3. And that's as far as I can go. Alright, number 6. The next word in tonight's phrase is save. Alright, number 6, I can also see that I have a common factor of 2. So let me factor out the 2. And that leaves me with n squared plus 4n plus 3. And now I'm going to look for two numbers that multiply to be 3 and add up to 4. So that would be 3 and 1. And that's as far as I can go. Alright, number 7. This time I have a leading coefficient that is not 1, so I'm going to have to do a little guesswork here. So I know that the firsts need to multiply together to be 2r squareds. And I know that the lasts need to multiply to be negative 9. So I'm going to try a positive 3 and a negative 3, even though I could try 1 and negative 9 or negative 9 and positive 1. But I just have a feeling it's going to be positive 3 and negative 3. So let's put in the negative 3 here and the positive 3 there. And when I do the outers and inners, I'm going to get negative 3r plus 6r. That's positive 3r. Oops, that's not going to work because I want negative 3r. So let me just flip the signs and try positive 3 in the first position, negative 3 in the second position. This time when I do 3r and I'm going to add negative 6r, because negative 3 times 2r, that's going to give me what I want, negative 3r. And that's going to give me negative 9 for the last term. So that is my factored form of expression. Alright, in number 8, I have the difference of perfect squares being 2r and 4r squared and 1. So I'm going to take the square root of both terms and write them in twice. And then I'm going to put a plus in one of the binomials and a minus in the other one. And that's how I do the difference of perfect squares. It always has a plus and a minus. Alright, here's another one, difference of perfect squares. So I can tell this is going to be 3x plus 5 times 3x minus 5. And that's that. And bear with me, I think I only have 3 more problems. The next few words in the secret phrase for tonight, may be. The words may be. Alright, so now we're solving an equation by factoring. So not only do we have to factor, but we have to set each factor equal to 0 and solve for the variable afterwards. So don't forget that extra step. So here, I already have a 0 on the right side of the equation, so I can go ahead and factor. I need 2 numbers that multiply to be negative 24 and add up to negative 5, and that would be negative 8 and positive 3. Then I set each one of those factors equal to 0, and I solve my little one-step equations, which has the effect of reversing the signs. So I get n equals 8, and over here I get n equals negative 3. That means my solution set contains negative 3 and positive 8. And I'm set. Alright, number 11. This time I have a negative 5 that I need to move over to the right side of the equation. So let me do that first. And that gives me 7b squared minus 7b minus 42 equal to 0. Now I can factor out a 7. B squared minus b minus 6. And lastly, I need 2 numbers that multiply to be negative 6 and add up to negative 1. That would be negative 3 and positive 2. Alright, so I set each of those factors equal to 0 and solve for the variable. It's going to give me b minus 3 equals 0. Add 3, and you get b equals 3. Alright, then for the other one, I get b plus 2 equals 0. Subtract 2, I get b equals negative 2. So my solution set includes 3 and negative 2. The next word in tonight's phrase, or I guess it is a sentence tonight, is the word your. Alright, let's see. Did I finish? Was that the last one? I think we're on, hopefully. No, it's not. There's 2 more. Alright. I think I'm going to skip over this one in the interest of finishing this screencast in a decent time. And let me lastly just do this long multiplication problem. So I need to write one of the numbers underneath the other one, and I ignore the decimal points until the very end. I'll start with the 8. Do 8 times 9 is 72. Write down the 2, carry the 7. 8 times 8 is 64. 64 and 7 is 71. Carry the 7. 8 times 4 is 32. Plus 7 is 39. Alright, now let me move on to the 9 now. So I'm doing the 9. 9 times, and when I do the 9, I forgot to mention, you always start putting zeros on the right hand side. So I'm going to put 1 since the first time. This is a second digit. 9 times 9 is 81. Carry the 8. 9 times 8 is 72. Plus 8 is 80. Carry the 8. 9 times 4 is 36. Plus 8, you get 44. Alright, and now lastly, let me try the 3. So this time I'm going to put 2 zeros there. 3 times 9, 27. Carry the 2. 3 times 8 is 24. Plus 2 is 26. Carry the 2. 3 times 4 is 12. Plus 2 is 14. Then I add downward, and I get 2, 2, 16, 14, 9, and 1. And now lastly, I count how many digits I had past the decimal point in my problem. I had 1, 2, and I put the decimal, move the decimal that many places to the left. So my solution is 1946.22. And the last word in tonight's sentence is the word own. So that means tonight's secret sentence was, the life you saved may be your own. Alright, hope you found this remotely helpful and that someone actually watched it. I'll be very happy if people do. And get a good night's sleep, and hopefully we will see you tomorrow. Cheers.